Welcome back everyone, this is Kylie the Curly Crafter and I have a bunch of fake bakes coming this summer, so I decided I will make a video to show you guys how to make some DIY silicone molds just to make sure that all your DIYs are looking the best that they can. I will be making an Oreo, a gumdrop, and a banana mold, and let's get started. I used this large silicone mold making kit off of Amazon for $93 from the brand Let's Resin. So I used quite a bit of this, but it still had a whole bunch left over to make more silicone molds. You will also need the type of fruits and items that you want to make the molds of. You will also need a spoon, preferably one that is not wood because it'll work way better. You will also need a measuring cup. And for my first mold, I tried Model Magic, but I'm just going to give you guys a warning here. Do not use Model Magic because it had a weird chemical reaction when drying. Because the material is expensive, you are going to need to find a container that perfectly fits the item you are making a mold of, and then you will need a spot to pour in your silicone mixture, so I just took an X-Acto knife and cut out a part of the top of the containers. So I watched this lady on YouTube who used clay for her DIY silicone mold, but then I tried it and it had a weird reaction, so she also said that you could use some tape, so I'm going to try this method today. What you're going to do is you're going to take your tape and lay it down overlapping just to make sure that there's no gaps where any of your mixture can seep through. And then after you have all the tape on your container wide enough to fit your container straight on top, then you can fill it up. This one is actually large, so I'm going to make a huge gumdrop mold, and I started to hot glue 4 of them in each corner. After they were in each corner, I removed the lid and then just filled in all of the empty space with the gumdrops. Once you think you have enough gumdrops to fill your mold, if there is any extra space, I highly recommend filling that up just so you don't waste any of your product, and then you get more out of it when you pour your resin inside of your silicone mold. Now that I finished placing all of my gumdrops, I'm just going to go through, and while I have all of my stuff out, I'm going to make as many silicone molds that I think of as of now. So I'm going to make a lime one, and I'm also going to make an Oreo one, as well as a mold with 2 bananas. There is a trick when it comes to figuring out about how much of the silicone mold mixture you will need to create each mold. In my case, I'm going to give an example with these lime wedges. What you're going to do is take the rice that you could find in your pantry or at Walmart, any type of grocery store, and just pour it into your mold with the product in it. In my case was the limes. In some cases, you might also have to add a little bit of extra rice because my limes were sticky. I actually had a few grains of rice stick to the limes. Since the limes were sticky and I added a little bit of extra rice, when I pulled out the limes from the rice mixture, it did remove some of the grains of rice, which was no problem. And then after I removed all of the limes and was left with just the amount of rice that I needed, I poured it into a measuring cup, and the measurement there told me about how much of the silicone mold mixture I will need to make that mold. In total, the rice told me that I needed about 8 ounces of the silicone mold mixture, so I did 4 ounces of part A and 4 ounces of part B. So once you know about how much of the mixture you will need in your container, you need to make sure it is completely sealed, so then I took some hot glue and closed it up around the edges. If there is any gaps in your hot glue or in your tape, it is guaranteed that some of the mixture will seep out and creating a huge mess all over your area, so really make sure that everything is closed. I showed you guys how to measure the amount you will need for one mold, but because I have various molds that I am making today, I'm actually going to do the full 32 ounces. And because you are using a part A and a part B, you will also need to do a 1-to-1 ratio, so I'm only going to add 16 ounces of part A. After part A, this is the time where you can color it with pigment, but if you're going to leave it clear like I am, then you can just finish up and add your other 16 ounces of part B, or just finish and fill up to the 32 ounce mark on your measurement container. Then what you are going to do is stir it for 3 minutes until you see all the swirls gone, and then after 3 minutes is up, an additional 4 minutes, or just stir it for about 7 minutes. Once it is all well combined, then you can slowly pour it into your mold. If you can see here, all of these 32 ounces barely covered all of my gumdrops. So additionally, I also had to go in and make another 20 ounces of the silicone to finish filling up the gumdrops, the banana, and the Oreo mold. Once your silicone mixture is inside your mold containers, don't touch it, let it sit there for 24 to 48 hours or until it is dry. I let mine sit for 24 hours and then I was able to remove the container and peel off the tape and then push out the cookies and gumdrops and bananas, and then I am left with the perfect silicone mold for resin and fake bake making. After I peeled off the tape on my gumdrop mold, there was a bunch of extra little things hanging from the side, so I just used some scissors and trimmed that up. I'm not gonna lie though, probably the best part of making this mold here was the satisfying effect of popping out all of the real gumdrops. It was so much fun to do and I had a blast, and I love it so much. So these are the molds that I made so far, and I have a lot more to make some more of the silicone molds. I made this banana one, this Oreo one. I also made a lime wedge one that I am using right now for a video that you're going to see very shortly. I also made this gumdrop one for Christmas. It actually makes 124 gumdrops, and just for reference, I made a batch of some red gumdrops with resin, and they just look so realistic. You can literally see every little detail of sugar, and I love them so much. And you'll see all these molds in future DIY videos, and if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel down below. Thank you guys for watching, and bye everyone!